Did you hear the one about the one-legged Samoan who single-handedly obliterated WWE's most dominant star of the modern era? The Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu, immediately rocked and shocked Paul Levesque's House of Hammerlocks by leaving guys like Randy Orton, Kevin Owens and WWE champion Cody Rhodes in respective piles of bone, dust and pus upon his debut. But it was just a crunchy appetizer for crackers, Jacob. You'd have thought that being a member of wrestling's deepest bloodline, growing up in the Graps was a foregone conclusion to a wrestling career for Jacob Samuel Fatu, son of the Tonga Kid, nephew of Umaga, nephew of Rikishi. You'd think so, but no so. Jacob Fatu wasn't fazed by the whole wrestling malarkey. This is despite spending summers at his uncle Rikishi's house, horsing around on the wrestling ring in the garden. It was just something that his family did. As far as Jacob was concerned, his head was turned to the family business in the strangest of places, a prison cell at Sacramento County Jail. At 18 years old, Jacob Fatu was arrested for robbery, and whilst incarcerated, the prison TV was showing WWE, in particular, a match featuring the Usos. And that was the moment he decided that he wanted to find a way of earning his way into the family business, the world of wrestling that had looked after his family for so many generations. He moved to Los Angeles for a fresh start with his wife, where he got a job as a bouncer. As he worked the doors, he was encouraged to bite the bullet and start wrestling training at Knox Pro Wrestling Academy in Sun Valley, California. The school opened by Uncle Rikishi and overseen by David Gangrel Heath and Reno Anawai, aka the Count of California, Black Pearl. Jacob said the first 2 weeks of training pushed him to the edge. The pain of it all made him truly appreciate for the first time how much physically his family gave to wrestling. His first official match in 2012 was one where he teamed with Black Pearl as part of a Knox Pro show. Cage match records show that the first few years of Jacob's pro career were mainly spent in doubles action, sometimes teaming as part of the Samoan dynasty with Black Pearl and or Rikishi, sometimes with Gangrel and with others. It was clear that they were keen to see Jacob Fatu develop, and he began spreading his wings in 2016, working for others in the California area, such as PCW, Supreme Pro Wrestling and All Pro Wrestling, where he won his first singles championship, the APW Worldwide Internet title. He did so beating NXT's resident Native American DJ, Carl Fredericks. The biggest, boldest move of Jacob Fatu's career came in February 2019, where he signed with Major League Wrestling. He became an established member of the nefarious Contra Unit, a faction dead set on a hostile takeover of MLW. By the summer, Jacob had established his dominance and beaten filthy Tom Lawler for the MLW World title, a championship that would remain in the Samoan werewolf's grip for 819 days. During this time, he turned back challenges from the likes of LA Park, Brian Pillman Jr., Davey Boy Smith Jr. and ACH before succumbing to Alex Hammerstone in 2021. Not long after this, Contra would seemingly disband, their fate sealed when Jacob Fatu would face leader Mags Kruger in a weapons of mass destruction match and put his face into a crate of biohazard waste. Yep, that's how you do it in the wrestling. Fatu would form a Bloodline-adjacent alliance with Lance Anoa'i and Juicy Finau after this, and spend 150 days in 2023 as MLW National Openweight Champion, eventually losing that title to Ricky Shane Page. Despite losing the gold and the changing shape of the company, he told Muscle Man Malcolm in late 2023 that he had no plans to leave Major League Wrestling. However, by the end of the first quarter of the following year, following story arcs with the likes of Alex Kane, Matt Riddle, Eugene Nagata, and now a biohazard-free Mads Kruger, Fatu said farewell to MLW. In the build-up to WrestleMania 40, he let it slip that a WWE debut was imminent, and it would be a few months after the granddaddy of them all that Fatu would finally arrive. It's believed, but not confirmed, that Jacob's criminal record would have caused issues entering other countries initially. With WWE playing several post-Mania international PLEs, this could have been what led to the delay in bringing him in. Or maybe he just doesn't like France and Scotland. Next time you see him, try and get him to sing Joe Le Taxi or get him to sign a Proclaimers album just to see his reaction. We'll know then for definite. With Solo Sikoa restructuring the Bloodline in the absence of Roman Reigns, we saw Tama Tonga and Tangaloa join the ranks and Paul Heyman be sent packing via the Bloodline's chosen redundancy package, a triple powerbomb through the announce table. Bloodline 2.0 would be rounded out by our boy Jacob on SmackDown, June the 21st. who blew everybody away as he sliced through multiple multi-time WWE champions as if he were a knife through butter. It wasn't immediately clear that it was Jacob Fatu. He turned up in WWE in phenomenal new shape, a streamlined Samoan werewolf. Jacob in the best shape of his career right now. It took just a few seconds for Fatu to outshine the rest of the new bloodline, many feeling as though the Ula Fala should be Ula falling off Solo's neck and landing on Jacob Fatu's. Jacob's role so far has been one of running interception for the bloodline, but he has been impressive in his handful of WWE matches so far. In fact, WWE put so much stock into what Jacob was doing that they put the tag titles on him and Tama Tonga in only his second ever televised WWE match. Come SummerSlam, Fatu proved once again very, very impactful and got the wrestling world talking in a very different way. Jacob Fatu burst into existence during Solo Sikoa's WWE title match with Cody Rhodes, using his now patented Greco-Roman body splash through the announce table to do so. As he did, Jacob seemed to land badly and was in a considerable amount of discomfort post-landing. He was helped to the back, and it was later in the day that he was papped in a superstore wearing a rather fetching medical boot. Fans feared the worst. This whirlwind that had brought new life to the Bloodline saga seemed to be out of commission. When Tanga Loa appeared on SmackDown, weirdly holding up Jacob Fatu's tag team belt, we all really feared the worst. Tanga's developed a bit of a rep, let's put it politely, when it comes to the whole wrestling thing. The man who botched a run-in and botched a low blow in weeks of his WWE debut seemed to now be stepping in to replace Jacob Fatu as tag team champion. This is not, as the commerce world would call it, a like-for-like swap. It'd be like your top-end air fryer breaking down and the guy in the shop offering to swap it for a box of angry hornets. However, fans' fears of Jacob going AWOL went AWOL this past Friday. As Roman Reigns placed the Ula Fala over his head, Jacob Fatu placed a beating on the rest of his body. A beating so shocking that it gave us this fabulous still of Roman Reigns. This is the guy who dominated the WWE landscape for nearly 4 years as champion, with a look on his face like he's just been drop-kicked out of his own soul. All with that walking boot still on, may I add. Jacob Fatu did that. Fatu's actual health update still hasn't been shared at time of recording this video. Is this a legit injury that the Samoan werewolf has agreed to power through? Is this a storyline to show just how bloody tough this lad is? I mean, it is likely to be that. For a guy in a boot, he's moving better than most. Whilst this chapter of the Bloodline saga will culminate in a showdown between Roman Reigns and his former enforcer Solo Sikoa, many argue that the real money is seeing Roman Reigns step up to Jacob Fatu, with Paul Heyman recently revealing that there is much, much more of the Bloodline story to be told. I believe our patience will be rewarded with such an encounter very soon. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.